Yep, exactly. Woo! Let's get ripped. Oh,
let's get shit-faced in this fucker.
Yeah, I got so drunk on Sunday. I went down to the Eagles for the Vikings game. They have, like, free food. It was, like, chili and hot dogs and nachos.
So you made a chili dog.
No, I didn't, actually.
What an idiot.
I didn't even think of it.
How could you not think of it when there's chili and dogs?
Because I really am not a huge fan of chili dogs.
Mixing genres?
No, it just gives me a heartburn. It's too much processed meat.
Yeah, that's true.
And just, I don't know. It just, and then
I think hot dogs should be served in condoms anyway.
It'd be rubbery. But isn't it really kind of? It's like
it's in its own condom, but
yeah. But it was just...
They taste so fucking good, but everybody who's, knows what's in them, you just go, why do I keep eating this shit? Literally, this shit.
Yeah.
Because that gets scraped off the floor of the processing plant, and then it's a hot dog.
Yeah. Oh, so I'd gorged on some shit dogs and...
Shit dogs.
and some chili, and pounded down 4 pitchers of freaking Oktoberfest from... like 11:45 to 4:30. Just ham boned.
Nice.
Yeah, it was. And then I went golfing afterwards.
Oh, that's gonna be fun.
With Carl, we went out and used my rain check at Sartell. I was so drunk. The first one, just shank. I look at him like, it's gonna be a long round. Like, should we just play best ball? I play from your ball. Basically, just hit balls. I lost on average 2 balls every hole. I was so shit faced.
That's a spending round of golf for being a free rain check.
Well, I went into the storage unit to grab the freaking my clubs, and then Andrea had a bunch of balls, so I just stole them all from her. They were all haggard bits, some range balls mixed in.
Ladies Titleist.
Oh, I love rocking the pink ball. Pink and orange, you can see them.
Oh, yeah, you can.
God damn, fuck that. I'm not like, we need to use white because I'm a man. No. Fuck that.
I just don't like hitting the orange balls because they're so bright.
You're just staring at them to concentrate to hit it?
Exactly.
See, I have no problem with that. I'll knock that thing into next week. But it was really hard because then I was drinking on the course too. So I had a few PBR pounders on a 9-hole.
Not to mention you got a wicked hook.
I got it straightened out over the years. It's not as bad.
Not as bad, but you still got a wicked hook.
What is it?
You're not fucking Billy or Caddyshack in that shit.
Oh no! I'm just putting it in there nice. Give it a nice fade or a hook. I don't know.
Fade. I like a significant left to right draw. It's just how I play.
Just what I do. Helps me with the crosswinds. Yeah. I ride them. So it was, and then I don't know. It was just absolutely horrible. I barely remember the round, and all I remember is trying to hit the ball, and just like focusing and being like, which one do I hit? Okay, this one's moving the least. Let's swing for that one, and just shanking everywhere. I mean, there's a thin line between golf and buzz. You get in the zone.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I was too drunk to do pretty much anything at that point. Just gone.
That's kind of the way that I felt last Friday. I can honestly say I had one of those I'm getting too old for this shit moment where I got pissed off on Friday because that's when I had to do mandatory overtime. So I'm in on my day off working. And then I get the information on my fucking day off I don't get the promotion. Yeah, that could have been better timed. But so I'm already pissed off at a lot of different things. And then I get the information, and this one killed me, that the overtime, the 8 hours of overtime that's being mandatory for the week last week, is going to be permanent for the foreseeable future.
Pretty much until, what, February?
Yeah, till first quarter starts.
Yeah.
So
gotta go through the holidays.
Yeah. And so I looked at it and I just went, are you fucking kidding me? So I'm supposed to be working 6 out of 7 days for the next 5 months for you?
Yeah.
So I made a whole spiel about it that day, being like, do you know the difference between mandatory and voluntary? Because you'll have people work if you ask them to work. You'll have people resent you if you tell them they have to work.
Yeah, did they give it, like, try to throw it out there? Not enough people
Nope, they just
volunteered?
came out and said it will be permanent for the foreseeable future.
Well, yeah, you gotta play it as voluntary because then people can control it, being like, I want more money.
Yeah.
I can get more money, as opposed to...
You have to be here 6 out of 7 days.
Yeah, as opposed to now you're taking away my free time.
Yeah.
As opposed, it's the difference of they look at it taking away free time or I get to choose and make more money. They don't, it's still good because you get to make more money. But.
When I said that to them, though, I actually was told to watch my tone. And I was just like, are you... Did my grandma start working here or something? Watch your fucking tone? Are you fucking kidding me? You don't even know what my tone is. That's why you're my boss.
Yeah.
If you were just another person, I would have already told you to fuck off 8 times. Today. Fucking watch my tone. Of course, I said that in my head.
Yes, because you're still employed there. That's fine.
And I actually said, I don't see what watching my tone has to do with anything of me asking a question. I just want to know, you do understand that we can volunteer for hours as well.
Yeah, you don't like the tone of my question because it's holding you accountable.
And the best part about it is then she goes, well, you can volunteer for more after the 8 if you would like. Just sign up in Aspect. Wow. And right then I just went, oh my god, you are a fucking cunt.
Well, she's middle management. Of course she is.
That, once again, remind you, day off.
You're like, I'm not even supposed to be here today.
So after I put in my fucking hours that day, I started drinking. I was pissy. And then I kind of forgot that we were supposed to go out for Josh's birthday that night. So by the time it came to Josh's birthday time, I was
lit.
Yeah, I was pretty good to go. I bought my first $16 Fat Dyer pitcher. Yeah.
Where did you go?
Coyote Moon.
So $16 for a pitcher?
Yeah. It was good, but it wasn't that good.
Holy, that's insane.
But I got so lit up that night that when I got home, I passed out on the couch. Like, everybody came back, we had a few people over, had a couple more drinks, that kind of shit, and then I passed out on the couch. And the worst part about it is I passed out with my head straight back. Like, because I didn't slink down on the couch at all.
Yeah.
So my head was actually like on the back of the back. Oh, I woke up and my neck just hurt. I had a beer that was half poured out on my fucking lap. I still had half the beer left.
That didn't wake you up when you spilled it on yourself?
No, because it was, well, I don't know if
how
it was
cold it was.
Yeah, I don't know if it was warm by the time I spilled it on me, but it was warm by the time I woke up.
Did you have to double check, like, hopefully that was beer?
I smelled it. I had to.
You're like,
so
did I get that shit fixed?
Well, when I woke up, I was just like, do I need to take a shower before I go to bed? So, yeah, but I just had a half a beer left, and I even did the, that's warm.
Gotta finish it.
Yep. It was pretty good. But yeah, I was thinking, way too old to be sleeping like that on a couch.
What time did you finally end up getting into bed?
I have no idea. Probably 3 or 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
I didn't check a clock. I just knew I was hurting. My neck was something fierce the next day.
Oh, just stiff as all get out.
It was that kind of thing where you feel like you want to crack it, and then as soon as you stretch it a little bit, you go, "Oh, that's tight, that's tight." Then then you don't want to move for a while.
Oh, that's the worst. I mean, just passing out. If you can find it where you pass out hard in a really comfortable position, like if you make it to bed, but if you just try to be a soldier, and then you end up passed out in a weird position,
it hurts.
Oh, you're gonna need a chiropractic adjustment immediately.
Yeah. I mean, I've done the pass out in bed and woke up going, oh, I am so recharged. But with my head straight back like that,
Luckily, you didn't have kids that'd be throwing fucking Cheerios in your mouth when you were sleeping.
He eats food.
Fucking choke and die.
Well, it was going to be on vomit or that, one or the other.
So I actually came across some pretty good fucked up Floridian news on Twitter today that made me laugh out loud.
Not Florida.
Yep. It was so good.
So good. So good.
So apparently, a Florida woman was shot and killed over the weekend when her brother unsuccessfully attempted to reenact the fancy gunplay scene from Tombstone.
I was standing my ground.
You know that part where they're in the bar with Doc Holliday?
How ironic he would try it with a loaded weapon.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just...
You're going to have to authentic weight.
That's all you can do it.
You don't have the 6 bullets in, you're 41 grams short what it should have been.
And then it can't spin it. It doesn't give it
fucking moron.
Yeah, so the story goes that Eric Staten attempted the same stunt Saturday at his home that was in Tombstone. And they're celebrating his sister's 40th birthday party, and then she was with her 23-year-old daughter. And the guy was sitting there in the driveway trying to do the trick. He dropped it when he was trying to holster it. It hit the cement and then just shot her in the neck.
And killed her.
And she just bled out and died. At her birthday party. He was probably just whiskied. And probably hopped up on meth and bath salts knowing that's Florida. She's lucky she didn't, get her face eaten.
Does it say he was Cuban? Probably came over.
No, Staten sounds pretty white, I think, doesn't it?
I don't know. You were just throwing everything at him, so I figured I'd get another one out there.
Yeah, so. I thought that was some messed up.
Oh, God, what a moron.
That's why you don't play with guns, kids.
Don't play with loaded guns. If you want to try to swirl a gun around, try it, but... Fucking don't play with a loaded gun, you dumb fuck.
Yeah, if you're gonna do a stunt.
There's a reason they use blanks in movies when they do that shit in the first place.
Yeah. And I don't...
You know why there's not that many guys that were really that good at that shit? Because they shot themselves trying. I mean, back in the... I'm not even sure that the people did that kind of shit back then. I mean, it seems like such a waste of time. And why would you learn how to do that shit? You need to learn how to shoot, not twirl a gun. What are you, a leader of a fucking marching band?
Yeah, and that's just insane, because those guns didn't have safeties, did they? But you had to pull them back, right? Is that how they kind of worked? Or could you...
Yeah, single action, you had to actually pull the hammer back before you could fire it.
So that was pretty much like a safety.
That was the safety.
Yeah.
In a double action, though, with the hammer... and the trigger, you can do it either way.
Yeah.
Those ones are the ones that he's probably using.
Let's
hope he did. Because if he was using a semi-automatic, he is really just moronic. Yes, exactly. Using a Mac 10 trying it.
Well, to be said, at least it didn't go off when he was spinning it. He dropped it. That's why you need to get the Wii tether for your pistol.
That's why he never made it to Circle Day.
It's true. But what a shitty way to die. And a terrible reenactment of a stunt from an awesome
I wish she knew more about it, because I kind of feel sorry for her if she was just walking out the house being like, anybody want some lemonade? Bam! In the neck.
No.
But if she was sitting there watching it and encouraging this to happen, she kind of gets what she gets. That's like the dude that's wrestling an alligator. Every now and then, the alligator's going to bite. You fuck around with guns like that, every now and then, it's going to go off.
So you had no sympathy for the crocodile whisperer guy? Steve Irwin?
Oh, no. No. He got what he deserved. You would only fuck with so many animals before the word gets out and they're just like, everybody, that's the motherfucker.
How many reptiles' days do you have to ruin before you just move on, Steve?
That's what I'm saying.
I'm just trying to go from here to there.
It's
you keep picking me up.
Yeah, it's one thing to show nature. It's another thing to manhandle it and be like, crikey, it's beautiful. Fuck, it was, but now it's pissed. And you don't seem to be caring about this. Anybody else in the world would be like, no. I can tell you about it from here.
Yep.
See, this is what it is. This is what it eats. This is how it lives. But you don't have to pick everything up and go, look at it. Look at it. It's trying to bite me. Oh, you naughty little thing.
Yeah, that's why Earth, the series, was so much better. Because you got to see everything up close, HD. It was a sweet show.
And it wasn't some douchebag sitting there fucking with it.
Yeah, they're just observing it. The way nature should be.
I actually believe that everybody that does that kind of stuff should be killed.
Whoa.
Like, everybody that does that kind of stuff where they walk up and like, oh, look at this thing, and start fucking with it.
Yeah, like one of those jackass dudes used to have that show where they did that? The Wild Boys?
Yep.
Oh, those guys just have a horseshoe up their ass. I don't understand how...
Yeah.
One of them died, so I guess that's kind of thins the herd a little bit.
And they deserved it. Can't really feel sorry for him at all.
Jeez, once again. It is brutal.
There's one thing that any kind of statistics will prove. It's, if you fuck with nature long enough, nature gets you. That's just...
The long and the short of it.
Yeah, that's just plain perfection in statement right there.
Yeah.
Nature always wins. Nature is the house. You know what I mean? House doesn't lose.
That is true.
First of all, nature looks at it and goes, what do you have, 100 years? Silly human. Like, you know what I mean? I've been here for a couple 100 million years with life on me. A couple billion for nothing. Fuck you. Yeah, I think it's funny when people say that we're going to kill the Earth. No. We're going to kill us. And a lot of other species.
Yeah.
The Earth is still going to be here, and it's just going to be the next mass extinction, and something else to take the place. Maybe a couple 100 million years from now, there'll be more people. Then when they drill into the new ice, they'll be like, dude, people were here.
Yeah.
Wonder what happened to them. And it'll start all over again.
It'll be it'll be like Atlantis. The civilization that was lost in time.
Maybe that's where the myths came from.
Well, I really do think that's probably what happened. Is there's been so many high-tech, civilizations on this planet that have just been wiped out throughout the millennia. It just makes sense. Because how do you build some of the stuff that you did without like a really high-tech civilization? I just think they're trying to keep it from us because the people in control want to harness that power to enslave us, not to set us free. So I think they know more than they're letting on.
I don't know. I look at it more of... People don't give credit for simplicity. Usually simplicity wins in nature, not only in nature, but how nature works, like people's brains.
Yeah.
Like when you're a kid, a pyramid is the easiest form to get.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that last week, yeah.
But if you're also looking at it as what happens the first time that you find the rule that if you put a rope around something, you can actually use it as a point where it pivots and takes most of the weight off.
Yeah.
So if you find that out once, it's really easy to find out how pulleys work. And then to start making something that you can actually do as a pulley. So, I mean, people don't give enough credit for ancient societies on the simplicity of invention. I mean, children know most of the shit that is needed to make something like the pyramid. Now, they might not see it on a grand scale like that, but that's what experience will give you. But children can basically figure out how to lift something heavier than them, given enough time, as well as how to make something such as a pyramid. It's just the simplicity of doing it. Once you find out one thing that works, you go, hey, I wonder if I can apply it to this. So I don't really think that it was Atlantis was there, that's why they got this, and that's how they did this, or it was aliens that helped them out, that's why there's pyramids all the way around the world. It's the simplicity of things.
Yeah.
And I don't think people give credit to the ancient societies on being able to even think of those simplistic things, such as a pulley. It's not nobody should have won any fucking awards on that one, but goddamn good work.
Yeah.
Let's keep knocking those out, huh? Like, I can see that shit, but I just don't... I think it's hilarious when people start... They couldn't have the technology to move stones like that. Really? Because for thousands and thousands of years, people have been using logs on the ground to push stuff over top of it, and it takes away the weight by about a third.
Yeah.
So you're going to tell me that nobody could figure out how to move something heavy, especially when they knew how to do shit like train elephants?
So you think it was pure just rudimentary skills and not
I think it was
high
brute force.
technology?
They used so many slaves and shit like that back then. I mean, even It's been proven that China did that. How many thousands of people are buried in the Great Wall because they died when working on it?
Yeah, I would just about imagine.
So if you're going to look at it that way, how is it hard to think that the Great Wall was built all by manpower and ingenuity, and something like the pyramid couldn't be? That's insulting to the people that made the pyramids. You know what I mean?
But it was so far ago.
Far ago, huh?
Far ago.
In a galaxy long, long away.
Hey, you got me all buzzed up here.
Yeah, I just think it's funny when people start talking about that shit, though. There's no way they could have done it. Fuck you. That's like saying, well, there's no way you could have tied your shoes this morning because you should have Velcro.
That's exactly the same thing.
You
know what? I should have Velcro. That's why I wear the dress shoes that are like the slip-on styles. It's easier. Don't have to worry about tying shoes.
I really said that I just like the relaxed, casual look.
Dude.
But motor skill not too good. Damn it if I'm all thumbs.
Yep. Did you hear about the latest brawl the Palins got into?
What?
Yeah, over the weekend there's like some big race that's happening up in some Anchorage, probably the only town in fucking Alaska worthwhile.
What? Some big race?
Like snowmobile race, I guess. You know, it must be a big to do because they have like parties everywhere or something.
Oh, is it that it's supposed to be that week that they do all those big parties? No, because that's in the middle of winter.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who knows? It's fucking Alaska. They do weird shit.
Yeah, exactly. I don't.
It's like the North Florida.
Could probably figure it out if I really gave a shit. But what happened is apparently the brother
Another special needs child.
No, well, probably. His name's Track. Track.
Oh yeah, I think she's got one kid that's named that.
And then he, I guess, went to this party with the family, and he stumbles out of their stretch Hummer because it's 2009 and shit.
Yeah.
With stretch Hummers.
Well, up there it is. I think they're just getting our 80s music.
Yeah, but I guess this is reports of eyewitnesses that told all the
dude. Did he do a
rags.
Hilton where he wasn't wearing underwear?
No. Oh, that'd been awesome. This is crotch shot.
Yep.
Berry.
That's why special need. No.
Yeah. But no, he apparently stumbles out of the stretch limo and sees an ex-boyfriend of his sister Willow, and just is all shit-faced and tries to attack him. And then Sarah Palin screaming, "Do you know who I am?" And then I guess it was reported that one other person retorted to her, "What are you guys doing? This isn't some hillbilly reality show. Get out of here!" Right, get out. And then I guess they're throwing fists, and Bristol Palin was just wailing on people and just getting all sorts of crazy. They're just getting redneck buck.
Oh, I would love to get hit by one of them.
Why would you sue the shit out
of them? I would.
They have no money.
Bullshit.
Not
she just started a website.
Yeah, but
it's $15 a month.
But see, the thing is, that is true. How many people actually subscribe though?
Oh, the funniest part about it is when that started up. The week of that starting up, Stephen Colbert actually bought, because it was SarahPalinChannel.com, and Stephen Colbert bought TheSarahPalinChannel.com, and every time somebody would go to TheSarahPalinChannel.com, it would take to redoing clips of her saying outlandish shit.
Nice.
Just clip after clip after clip from his show of some of the dumb shit that she's said over the years. And he did some looking into it. After 1 week of her website being up, the number one asked question on her webpage was, "How do I cancel my subscription?" Number one question after the first week of opening.
Well, what would she provide for $15 a month? What kind of content?
What she said is it's the information that the liberal media won't let you know.
Oh, of course. It's just some bullshit line.
Yep. So just enough to get those tea parties in there. Don't you know?
Don't you know?
Do you know the only difference between a pit bull and a hockey mom? I fucking hate that chick. She's just so stupid.
That was one of the most insulting things I think ever laid upon the American people. Was here. This is the best our country has to offer.
Yep.
What?
No, literally, I think all it was is some dude in the fucking campaign team was just like, people want to fuck her.
Oh, amen. And
all we need to do is put somebody in front of them that want to fuck.
Oh, when they brought her out, I was like, I hate every fiber of her. I hate every fiber of her being and what she stands for, but I will hate fuck the shit out of her. Don't get it twisted,
I would hate pound that. It's that everybody thought when she was brought out.
And when they brought her out, I was like, touche. Touche. Way to try to capitalize. Try to steal the disgruntled woman vote when Hillary Clinton was snubbed for VP with Obama.
Yeah.
I thought that's exactly why they did it.
But they definitely could have found somebody better than her.
Oh.
At least they didn't go with Bachmann.
But like you said, it's... Oh my God.
Bachmann, I'm so glad that they didn't go with Bachmann because she's embarrassed the state enough.
She does not need to be anywhere near controlling anything.
Well, I will give her this, though. Bachmann would have actually intelligently answered a lot of questions, such as, what do you read?
Yeah, she could have at least said something. Fucking the Fountainhead.
I'm pretty sure Bachmann would know what the vice president does.
Yeah.
I mean, Bachmann isn't, stupid. Bachmann's ideals are just stupid.
She's just crazy.
Yes.
She's just... I mean, look at her eyes. You don't even have to listen to her. Just look into her eyes, and every fiber of your being screams.
She knows what the job details. She just might not be able to do it competently.
Yeah, that is 100% true.
But if you asked her, what is your job, she could give you the definition of what she's supposed to be doing. You know what I mean?
Fundraising.
I just smile and thanks for coming.
My favorite part was where she did that rebuttal to the State of the Union address, and where she spoke into the Tea Party camera and not the mainstream media camera. So it's pretty much you're speaking to your target market, but it just made you look batshit crazy as fuck.
Oh man, did it!
When everybody who gets their news pretty much is going to be watching your MSNBC, CNN, what have you, and their bank you're just like ignoring, just looking off creepily. Oh, it was brilliant.
You're getting this shot of her,
dude. It was it was one of my favorite things that's ever happened in politics. Just because it was
that's probably the whole reason one of the big reasons on why she's actually stepping down now is because she knows there's nothing left.
Wasn't she like going to get indicted?
Yes. There was talks of it. I don't know if they're going to do it anymore. But
scared her the fuck away.
Yeah. Because she's...
And I think most people in this state probably were just like, yeah, if she just goes away, just let her.
I can't believe she got voted back in a couple of times there.
They gave so much money around the country, just got dumped into our district.
Yeah.
Whenever she would run, because they could not give that up. And that's the only reason. It was the Minnesota 6th district was the highest, paid for fucking election of last time she ran. It's just... That's ridiculous.
And it's not that big of a place. I mean, it's amazing that they put that much money into it.
Yeah, the biggest place is what? St. Cloud and Anoka, I think, is involved in it. That's about it.
Because it's north of the cities.
Yeah. It's just... Wow. I don't know. She didn't represent anything. I fucking believed it.
Yeah, I was in her district, but that doesn't mean that I ever... agreed with her on one issue other than we all breathe air.
That is true.
I do believe that thoroughly, and I don't care what the scientists say.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer that you should just be given one term and you shouldn't even run for election. You should just be appointed to public office. And you should, serve one term. Don't move to Washington. You're still going to live in your home state, your family.
It's the fucking 20th century. Why can't we do votes from home?
Or telecommute, But I truly think how you'd want to have it set up is you'd have the representative be kind of appointed. Everybody just has to do it eventually, and you're brought up from birth knowing parliamentary procedure and how to run government.
So fuck 'em over.
So you don't need career politicians that are the only ones studying it, because we're going to actually have to take initiative in our education system to teach it from cradle to grave.
Well, first of all, we'd actually have to do enough teaching in the schools to learn in masses that we're not in a democratic society to begin with, like everybody thinks that we are.
Yeah.
That's the fun part about the education system that everybody's been brought up into. We even said it how many times when saying the Pledge of Allegiance, and to the republic for which it stands. They don't say, and to the democracy for which it stands.
Exactly.
It's a democratic republic.
That's what I was getting at. Everybody needs to be appointed as a representative. And the whole thing is they shouldn't move their family to Washington, and they shouldn't move themselves to Washington. They should stay in Washington when they're doing the people's business and get paid a fairly modest stipend, and then their family stays home, and the community, you're doing us a service by representing us in Washington, so we're going to make sure your family does good, we're going to make sure your business does good, we're going to take care of everything while you're doing this.
Yep.
We need to come together as a community, and I think that's the difference. You serve one term, you do it. It's people that seek the power you need to be worried.
Well, who was it? It was Thomas Jefferson and Benjamin Franklin that wanted to make amendments to the Constitution saying, or not the Constitution, but amendments saying that you cannot be a career politician in any form of federal, state, or local. They wanted to make that federal law that no politician can be career, regardless of how small or how big it is.
Yeah.
You could be a public worker, like work police, be public maintenance.
Yeah.
You could do that kind of stuff if you want a career with the government. But no person should be a career politician. Now, how did that not make it in?
Because it's the same as jury duty. Nobody's going to want to fucking do it. It's your civic duty. You should be excited to do jury duty, but it's a pain in the ass. And it would be considered a pain in the ass when you had to serve in Congress for a term. You'd be like, fuck me. God damn it, I have to go up there and bicker with these idiots from all over the country whose turn it is to fucking try to get something done.
Yep.
And I mean, I could see how it doesn't happen, but what we need to do is just kind of... I think it's just... You need to be conditioned, almost, to be proud of it, like the Spartan society where you were proud to be a goddamn brutish warrior. It's not the greatest thing to aspire to be as a fucking sociopathic killer, but their society
I think it can be done a lot different than that. People should just... we already have that sense of entitlement as well as that sense of pride. USA #1, that kind of shit.
You sound more like you're Asian than American, but...
I just like saying that. But, It does come down to that fact that everybody does have that, well, I'm an American type deal. So you want the prestige of saying you're an American, yet none of the consequences of having to actually be the American.
Yeah.
You don't want to have to put the work in or anything like that. You just want to have the time where you can say, I'm an American. So I should be able to do that. And you can laugh about it, but it's 100% true. That's what every single person can admit to saying.
Fuck, I do that every day.
Yeah.
What, you want me to clean a toilet? I'm a fucking American woman.
Pay $20.
Exactly. That's how we get shit done.
So, it just comes down to it that nobody wants to do anything. So when you're saying that it's just like jury duty, I'm not saying it's like jury duty. I'm saying it's like half the population looking at it going, the mailman just came. Means I gotta walk all the way to the fucking mailbox.
And it's probably got a goddamn summons for me to go to Washington and vote on some shit.
Exactly.
I'm president this year? Fuck!
Yep.
I don't want to be president.
So, it would come down to it where people would just start bitching that they had to do anything to begin with. I can say this because
that's when we hire a police force that goes around and kicks them in the nuts for being stupid little bitches and says, do you enjoy your life? How do you think this happens? We don't let assholes who want to be in charge to steal it from you. We put people like you and me in to protect it. So get your ass up there and do some good.
Yeah, no. See, I can honestly say that I've not only seen but heard and read the evil that people believe that they feel they're entitled to just because they're an American. It's amazing in my tenure of being a customer service person how many times you hear somebody say that. I'm an American!
I've never said it to somebody like that. I've said it jokingly, but...
I'm not kidding you. I've heard that before. I've taken a call where somebody has actually said...
Do they think they're speaking to somebody in India?
I don't know. But I actually had somebody say, I will not speak to anyone unless you're a white American. Are you a white American? And at that point I was just like, I'm not required to tell you that.
She'd been like, do I sound white?
Nope. I wanted to piss him off, to be totally honest.
For being a bigot?
You want to be a douchebag? I can play a douchebag game. I can give you the runabout and still not be fired for my job.
Exactly.
Because I know how to say it. I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm not apologizing for shit other than you're an idiot.
Yep.
And I'm sorry you feel that way.
That's great.
You know what I mean? I've actually heard that, though. It's my right as an American to speak to a white American. And I actually said to him at that point, sir, there is no such right in any state in this union.
Yeah, I didn't see that in the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the last time I checked.
Not to mention, no state can give you that right because it would go against others' constitutional rights.
Yeah, I can tell by your tone you're a libertarian. So you should really understand that your rights end where other people's begin.
Mr. Anderson, I'm sorry, is it Dr. Anderson? Because I'm pretty sure you got a doctorate in, let's just say, law here.
Yep.
You fucking moron. It's my right as an American. You know what your right is? The opposite of left. Douche. I
thought you were going to go on a righteous rant where I could have laid America the Beautiful under it again.
Well, that's why I stopped there for a second, because I actually saw you look at me like, ooh, this might be good. I had to give you some shit after that
one. Speaking of cheesy jokes, I heard one right before I got here today. It was, so I hear the Twins want to pick up Adrian Peterson if the Vikings let him go. They really need a switch hitter.
Woo! Snap! Yo. Take that, old Dave. I don't know where to go from that.
I suppose we could talk about it. Did you hear anything about it? Like the Adrian Peterson thing, all the hubbub?
The funny part about it was on the BBC. And
they're like American footballer.
Yes, they actually said American football player. But the best part about it is they must not know what a switch is over there. Like, if you say switch to anybody in the United States who is 40 or under, or I mean, around that anyway.
And Southern.
Anybody in the North knows what it is.
Because every time I've heard it, they've always had to clarify what it was in the news or...
One thing I'm just trying to say here, though, if you know what a switch is.
Oh, yeah. Duh.
No. 95% of Americans know what a switch is. They actually say in the BBC, hit him with a tree branch.
So people's visual.
Yeah, I know this. This is a fucking professional athlete. So I mean, he's a hefty fucking branch. This shit like fell from the last storm, and he's just so pissed off. He's like, "Come here, child!" You know, like you're fucking saying a tree branch. What douchebags? You can't even clarify what it is.
That was brutal. Those pictures.
Yeah, he went off the handle on him. I don't care, giving him a spank with a switch or something like that is one thing, but leaving lasting marks like you whipped a kid.
Like what did they say? Like 18 lacerations. Yeah. I'm sorry. As soon as you break the blood once, and he's 4.
Yeah.
Especially after what your other kid you didn't even claim died of child abuse a year before.
Yeah.
Who the fuck are you?
Dumb.
And the sad thing is, I mean, will he get suspended in the wake of the Ray Rice thing?
I would be surprised if he still has a job.
I don't know. I think Ray Rice was the martyr for the whole domestic violence thing, and AP's going to skin underneath it.
No, I think they're going to hit him hard with this because I actually believe he's going to be brought up on charges.
Well, it's abuse of a child.
Didn't you hear, though, that the charges that they brought him up on have a minimum of 2 years if found guilty?
Oh, no, I didn't. I just heard about the case, and I was like,
2 to 5 years is what he's looking at right now.
I haven't listened to anything else about it.
If he's found guilty of the charges they're bringing him up on is... what was it? Knowledgeable child endangerment or something like that is what they're... I think that's what it was called. Something like that.
Negligible?
No, knowledgeable.
Oh, sorry.
Where he had knowledge this was happening and did nothing about it, in fact participated in it.
Well, don't they have a picture of him like tearing down the branch to beat him with?
Yes, so that's why they're saying he did this knowing he was doing this and continued to do so.
See, iPhones are just snitches, man. He was probably raised like
I just don't see that. I hate that excuse when people say that, because it's literally giving the people... people like this are real people. Just because they get a bunch of money and they're in front of a fucking camera at a children's hospital doesn't mean that they're still not a monster at home.
Yeah.
And people have to realize this. Just because they're fucking... professional athletes get paid millions of dollars doesn't mean that they're any different from any other person. They're stupid too.
Oh,
they're a whole new kind of stupid because now they're stupid with money.
Yeah, that is true. I kind of wish I would have listened to like K-Fan, the sports station, when that was all coming out. I just would love to hear the people that put the Vikings
defend him,
that put the Vikings above his son and even his livelihood, like his health, because. There's something wrong with you as a person if you feel the need to lash out that violently towards somebody so helpless.
Yeah.
One of the most helpless entities on this planet. We're allowed to, like, beat to some level. I mean, what Louis C.K. had a great bit about it.
As far as I'm concerned, beating a kid is so much worse than beating a woman.
Yeah.
At least a woman can somewhat defend herself.
Exactly.
At least she's conscious enough to be able to... stop it somehow, like if it's to grab a knife and stab you with it. Yeah. I mean, that's what a kid would never even think of something like that.
Well, look, just juxtapose what, the Ray Rice thing with the Adrian Peterson thing. The Ray Rice thing, his then fiance...
she was punching him too.
And spit in his face.
Yeah.
And, she
deserved a healthy slap. I'm saying it. If you start punching a dude and then spit in his face, you deserve a healthy slap. You don't deserve to get fucking knocked the fuck out like he did do her.
But that's the difference is, right there, those AP is so much more extreme, and if the Ravens...
Yeah, a 4-year-old kid never deserves to have marks like that left on him. I mean, give him a swat on the butt.
Now, if he's like 15, stole your car... crashed it. Yeah, then I can see whooping the fuck out of him. He's a grown-ass man at that point, damn near.
But he's a 4-year-old kid. There's nothing that he could possibly do that would be bad enough to leave lasting marks on him like that.
And to scar him that emotionally.
Yeah.
Where the one person you're like, oh, I trust him. And now you're like, oh.
Like I said, give him a little swat on the butt, but you shouldn't be, hauling off on him or anything. You should just be giving him a swat on the butt and saying, no, don't do that. You don't even really smack them. You just do the little swatting motion type deal, and they start getting that instinct down.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's just like dogs and shit like that. I watched my brother do it. He didn't hit his kids, but he gave them a swat on the butt. And that's... I don't know if it's instinctual. It kind of seems like it is.
Yeah.
But, I mean... I remember the one time I thought this was hilarious, because... I told you about this. My oldest nephew at one point was being such a little shit that I finally looked at him and I was like, you need to stop now. And he goes, what are you going to do? And I went, I'll smack you. And he goes, you're not my dad. You can't smack me. And I went, you know what? I'm your uncle and your godfather. That means I can smack you twice. And he actually paused. And you could see
the math.
You could see the wheels turning of going, Uncle? God, that is 2, but does it add like that? Well, you could see him trying to work this out, and then he finally came to the realization of, I'm really not sure if it does work out, but I don't know if I want to test it.
Exactly. I know this guy.
So, yeah.
He doesn't usually talk shit.
Exactly. It was just hilarious to actually see his mind working on it, and you knew exactly what he was thinking.
Yeah.
Of going, that is two different things. Could it possibly add like that? I'm going to need a chalkboard.
Yep. But I don't have one. I got to make a decision.
I'll be back in 20 minutes.
I got to make a decision right now.
Yep.
And I'm going to hedge my bets that he will kick the shit out of me.
Yeah, and he ended up doing it. He ended up going, okay. You could see he was just like...
He's like, fine.
I'm just doing this because there might be a small possibility that you do have 2 hits coming, and...
He was not about to call your bluff of anybody in the family. Don't call Sam's bluff.
I bet you the ride home was rather interesting that night, though, because I bet he asked Dad, so, can he really smack me twice? And Dad probably was like, yeah. My brother, like, he knows I'm not going to hit a kid, so
yeah, exactly.
He probably was just like, yeah, he can smack you twice. 2 times 2.
So don't let me get a hold of Uncle Sam when you're
and then I'll have to smack you too.
And if I've already used my smack, I'll call Sam up. He'll get you twice.
Exactly. I thought it was hilarious. But then again, I've had a lot of conversations with my nephew like that where you're just like, oh, you took that weird. I remember having a conversation about my dad the one time when he was talking about he's up in heaven. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, he's up in heaven. And he's like, well, why is that? And I went, because he passed away. And he goes, what's passed away? And I went, that's a nice way of saying he died. And he goes, well, am I going to die? And at that moment, I was like, this was one of the days that I was picking him up from school. So at that moment, I was thinking, oh, shit, why does he have to ask me this shit? So I tried to think of something comforting to tell him, and I was just like, dude, you're just starting out. You don't have to worry about that. And he goes, I'm just starting to die? And I was like, oh, God, there's no way I can win on this. Just ask your dad.
Yeah, I'm dead.
Yep. But the panic in his voice when he said, I'm just starting to die, and I'm like, ah, fuck.
Don't worry, you just started.
That was not meant to be that way.
You should have been like, yes.
Yeah,
it takes
exactly.
a good 100 years to actually die.
You know when you were starting to die? When the doctor smacked your ass.
Exactly. You just came out breathing the toxic
when you
air.
stopped multiplying in cells and started having cells die. That's when you started to die.
That is true. So pretty much after puberty?
Yeah, exactly. Oh. What is that? You're dying from birth, so you might as well have a good time.
That is true. That is very true. Fucking A. Mind blown.
Oh.
So I was looking for weird, like, stories about random shit in the world, and I came across this one that I thought was kind of interesting that I wanted to read to you. So there's this letter that they published on the internet, and it was written by like some guy from Newport, Rhode Island named Scott Williams. And what he does is he digs things out of his backyard and then sends them to the Smithsonian Institute.
For what?
And he labels them with like scientific names, insisting that they're like actual archaeological finds.
To see if they're doing their job or something?
Well, just the fucking dude's bored. So he just does it as a lark, apparently.
A lark. I like that word.
I know, me too.
More people should use it.
I agree. But, so...
Whimsical.
Yeah, according to the thing, it says this man really exists, and he does this in his spare time. Anyway, here's the actual response from the Smithsonian Institute. Bear this letter in mind next time you think of you ever challenged, customer. Luckily for you, you won't have to worry about that anymore. But, okay, so it starts off. Dear Mr. Williams, thank you for your latest submission to the Institute, labeled 93211-D, Layer 7, next to the clothesline post. ... humanoid skull. Or hominid skull. He goes, we have given the specimen a careful and detailed examination, and regret to inform you that we disagree with your theory that it represents conclusive proof of the existence of early man in Charleston County 2 million years ago. Rather, it appears that what you have found is the head of a Barbie doll.
Nice.
Of the variety that one of our staff, who has small children, believes to be Malibu Barbie.
I like how they subgene
Exactly. Then it goes on.
What's that in the Dewey system, bitch?
It is evident that you have given a great deal of thought to the analysis of this specimen, and you may be quite certain that those of us who are familiar with your prior work in the field were loath to come to contradict your findings.
Ooh.
However, we do feel that there are a number of physical attributes of the specimen which might have tipped you off to its modern origin. 1. The material is molded plastic. Ancient hominid remains are typically fossilized bone.
Typically. I love how they put typically. Like, we have found crystal once.
Yep. Yeah.
But we found out that was supposed to be in Superman's fortress. So,
Then he goes,
I digress.
Yep. Goes 2. The cranial capacity of the specimen is approximately 9 cubic centimeters, well below the threshold of even the earliest identified proto-hominid. They're the Smithsonian, sir.
Oh, that is true. They know all.
Yep.
They're God.
And then it says 3. The dentation pattern evident on the skull is more consistent with the common domesticated dog than it is with the ravenous, man-eating Pliocene clams you speculate roamed the wetlands during that time.
Ooh. Wild clams that will eat you?
Yeah, from the Paleocene, or Pliocene. That's what it's. Pliocene.
Maybe that's why
clams.
we eat them now. We're just paying them back.
That is true. But how fucking
clams.
crazy is that guy? And then, when it goes on, this later finding is certainly one of the most intriguing hypotheses you have submitted in your history with this institution. But the evidence seems to weigh rather heavily against it. Without going into too much detail, let us say that 1. The specimen looks like the head of a Barbie doll that a dog has chewed on. And 2, clams don't have teeth.
Straight fact.
It is with feelings tinged with melancholy that we must deny your request to have the specimen carbon dated. This is partially due to the heavy load our lab must bear in its normal operation, and partly due to the carbon dating notorious inaccuracy in fossils of recent geologic record. To the best of our knowledge, no Barbie dolls were produced prior to 1956 AD, and carbon dating is likely to produce wildly inaccurate results. Sadly, we must also deny your request that we approach the National Scientific Foundation Phylogeny Department with the concept of assigning your specimen the scientific name Australopithecus spiferino.
Spiferino, nice.
Speaking personally, I, for one, fought tenaciously for the acceptance of your proposed taxonomy? Taxonomy? Sorry. Maybe I shouldn't read this.
Kind of like taxidermy.
I figured, but I couldn't pronounce it. I should probably read this before I, told you.
That's hilarious. I love the wording that this dude's using.
But was ultimately voted down because the species name you selected was hyphenated and didn't really sound like it might be Latin.
Wow.
However, we gladly accept your generous donation of this fascinating specimen to the museum. While it is undoubtedly not hominid fossil, it is nonetheless yet another riveting example of the great body of work you seem to accumulate here so effortlessly. You should know that our director has reserved a special shelf in his own office for the display of specimens you have previously submitted to the institution. And the entire staff...
I want to know what else this dude sent in.
And the entire staff speculates daily on what will happen upon next in your digs at the site you have discovered in your Newport backyard. We eagerly anticipate your trip to our nation's capital that you proposed in your last letter, and several of us are pressing the director to pay for it. We are particularly interested in hearing you expand on your theories surrounding the transpositating filification of Furnius ions in a structural matrix that makes the excellent juvenile Tyrannosaurus rex femur you exactly discovered take on the deceptive appearance of a rusty 9mm Sears Craftsman automotive crescent wrench.
What? That's a fucking mouthful.
Yeah. And then yours in science, Harvey Rowe, Chief Curator, Antiquities.
Holy shit. I really want to know that guy. I bet you his neighbors are all just like, oh, fuck, he's out there again.
Yeah, that crazy son of a bitch. But the worst part is you keep reading down, and it's an urban legend.
What, that letter is?
Yeah.
I bet.
I was disappointed.
Because I doubt they would take the time to actually write that to him.
Yeah, exactly.
That was some college kid's pastime. You know, they're just sitting there drinking in a dorm room going, we should write a letter, and then just resubmit it.
Well, it says that it's come to their attention that the original prankster is Dr. Harvey Rowe, who conceived the Barbie Smithsonian letter back in 1994. A few emails to friends started one of the best urban myths ever.
That whole part about the crescent wrench is just gorgeous.
But isn't it just a beautiful piece of fiction?
Yeah.
Regardless.
Eloquently put as well.
Dude, hilarious.
Yeah, I like it. Stamp of approval.
It's a stamp. I thought you'd get a kick out of that. I was like, this is one of the funniest things ever.
Although I can honestly tell you, it is funny to read letters from real customers and shit like that. I think I remember showing you one that I'm not kidding you. This was a real letter that I received where it just to paraphrase the whole thing, didn't like our service, didn't like our products, didn't like anybody they talked to, and that's the nice part of the letter. After that, they actually called all of our workers. They didn't go so far as to use racial terms, but they did say that we are non-American monkeys. Thought that one was kind of weird.
Non-American monkeys?
Yeah.
Well, aren't most monkeys non-American?
I didn't know that.
We have a natural monkey population?
Sasquatch. Yeah, squatching it out there, Jake.
That's what they are.
But I told us that we need to do this, that, and this, or there'll be hell to pay. And I mean, basically called us 5-6 different names throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
I said that shitty this, shitty that, and then the best tagline I've ever seen to sign off on a letter. Yours in God, Reverend. It was written on church paper.
What? And did he actually use cuss words?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Best thing about it is I kept thinking as soon as I got that letter, I was going, I should just make copies of this, and I know what my next vacation's going to be. Going down to Texas and handing these out on Sunday morning. Feel like, hey, you know what your reverend's doing?
Yeah.
And the best part is I'd probably have a shootout in the fucking parking lot. It wouldn't be a shootout like we're thinking. It'd be like that shootout like the old Wild West cartoons where everybody would be going, yeah, and shooting up in the air like, our Reverend's awesome. Like, everybody out there would be like, oh, that's fucking business as usual.
Oh, you know you...
He didn't send any anthrax with it, did he?
Yeah, as soon as you said you were going to do them, like, what, you wanted to galvanize them against you?
Yeah, exactly.
The entire congregation would be coming at you like, good.
I just thought
you
that was
long-haired northern Yank.
Yeah.
South rise again.
I'm doing this for charity, damn it.
Doing this for charity.
Oh.
Done.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think that's a podcast.
That might be sign-off material right there.
I agree. Well, until next week, kiddies, come the revolution.
And let it come fast.